Today we're responding to...
I got popcorn in my mouth.
No, we are watching a movie that was released in 1988, which neither of us have seen, called The Wizard of Speed and Time. I know nothing about this movie.
We've seen the trailer. It's kind of insane.
Even if it's a total train wreck, this is going to be entertaining to watch.
We're gonna watch a movie.
I'm gonna need more popcorn.
It was a movie for sure. So we're going to talk about different aspects of the movie, and we're going to include no spoilers until we hit the part when we talk about the story. And at that point, we'll say, hey, here's the time code you want to skip ahead to if you want to see the final score, but want to skip the spoilers, and you'll be able to do that. But up until then, you'll be safe. We're going to be using a 5-star system to sort of score each separate component, and then also the film overall, just off the cuff reacting to it. 1 star is unwatchable, 2 not great, 3 pretty good, 4 awesome, and 5 is perfection. So the first category is...
Enjoyability.
Like, how much did you enjoy watching this movie?
I guess it was okay. It was good. It was pretty good. 2.5. I thought it had a lot of fun, ridiculous moments. It kind of explained a lot about the film industry. The movie is about the film industry, basically. Yeah, it's something.
I would give it a 3.5 for me personally. This movie is about practical effects, it's about filmmaking, and so I think its sense of humor is oriented specifically to people who know a lot about that, and as that's something I do professionally, it was sort of targeted right at me.
Like, it was fun, but I felt like I was watching some really, really weird special on television.
So our next category, so it was set in the 70s. I'm guessing because they had no budget, so they probably shot it in the 70s, and then it took many, many years to create.
Yeah, it looks like it was the 70s.
Yeah, because it was written, directed, edited, and starring the same guy, and the special effects were done by this guy. So I'm guessing they actually just shot it in the 70s, and it took so long for him to finish it.
Right.
And I understand that. Like, I really understand that. The visuals are low budget. Tons of practical effects, stop motion, hand-drawn animation on the frame. Just, it's absurdist, it's very silly, and it's not trying to be anything other than that. For me, they were the highlight of the movie. I'd give this a 3.5.
I like that they kind of explain how they are doing things, sort of, like with the visuals, and I think that made it more interesting. Like, I thought it was awesome in that regard. I'd give the visuals a 4. I'd give it an awesome.
Acting. Yeah, none of these people are actors, but I didn't get the feeling that any of them were acting. You get the vibe that, like, it's kind of autobiographical a little bit, in that maybe these are real people and not really characters. I think it's fine. It's very silly. It's meant to be absurdist. 2.5.
Yeah, I thought they were fine.
Hard to judge this one.
Right. I guess a 3, pretty good. Like, meh.
And now we get to the sound.
Okay, I'd love to rate the sound alone on enjoyability, like that, and
Sure.
like the enjoyability
This is all subjective
due
anyway.
to sound was 5 because it was ridiculous, super 70s.
Oh my goodness.
Holy 70s.
Yeah. It was like a
Batman.
70s children program.
Yeah.
Like synthesizers making happy ditties the whole time, and every time someone would do something exaggerated, there would be all kinds of sound effects in the movies, like shoo, shoo, shoo.
It was so great.
Yeah, it was utterly charming, and the soundtrack is still going through my head right now.
Yeah.
It's one of the higher points of the enjoyment for the movie for me. So,
Yeah.
well, so you would give the sound a 5.
I'm giving sound a 5.
I would give it a 4. So now we're going to talk about the story, which is, we're going to get into spoilers here. There's no major revelations or anything, honestly. If you haven't seen it, you could probably watch this section and still enjoy it just as much. But if you are interested in skipping ahead for spoilers, go to the time code shown at the bottom of the screen, or the top, or the side. It depends on where I put it in post-production. a struggling practical effects artist who's also a writer and a director, this sounds really familiar, is trying to make his way in the film industry, and he's living out of his parents' basement and kind of really sort of socially awkward and not making good impression at the studios, but they can see his talent, so they make a bet. One bets $25,000 that he can't complete the work, and one bets that he can. And so they give him an impossible task. He's got to shoot this short video for a compilation they're airing on practical effects, and it's just nuts what they have him set up to do. But what they don't realize is that he actually is a wizard, a practical effects wizard, who is kind of magical for real, but then he's not really.
He?
But he's not really.
Right, isn't it just his imagination? You can't fully tell.
Yeah.
Because it's something.
Yeah. But anyway, like, Dana. Hey.
Come here.
Long story short,
Someone's hiding at the camera.
he makes a bunch of friends along the way, they have wacky adventures, they film the movie despite all odds, and it all ends up being successful, and they get paid more than they thought they would, and he gets a girlfriend.
Woo! Because visual effects guys don't.
Stereotypes. I'm probably gonna cut most of this out.
Okay.
The story is like, it kind of doesn't exist.
The story that he's making, I thought had a better flow as a story. It was weird, and you still didn't fully get it, but it seemed to have a better flow than the movie itself.
Yeah. The movie itself is very rambling. You never really get the sense that there's anything at stake with the characters, even though technically through the story there's a lot at stake with the characters, but you never feel it emotionally. The movie's just too wacky to suck you in, and the jokes are usually pretty interesting. Like, you'll laugh a couple times here and there, and then a lot of them just kind of fall flat. Dana disagrees. She had a great time.
She slept. Yeah, he did.
She really wants to play.
Yeah, she did.
But yeah, no, so in terms of the story, I'd give it like a 2. The movie to me feels like a demo reel. A very long demo reel, and he thought of the cool effects he wanted to do, then kind of maybe connected the dots with some sort of threadbare story. You know, if you're an animation nerd, if you're a practical effects nerd, if 70s absurdist Weird Al type humor is your deal, or you're just super into turbo low budget films, then there's a laugh or two to be had here. So I'm definitely glad I saw it. Probably won't watch it again. He's just so happy to be home right now.
want to play.